Son, and Holy Spirit. First of all, I want to thank you all for a wonderful opportunity of 30 days of rest and refreshment. It was time for me to spend with my family, time to spend with in-laws, extended family, time to go visit some local things that I never got a chance to do, and time for me to actually go and visit 5 congregations here in Grand Island on Sunday mornings that I never would have gotten an opportunity to do if I had not had that. So the theme of rest, refreshment, and leisure is on my mind. And I ask you a question. How many of you all, when you were growing up, heard the old adage, idle hands are the devil's workshop? Okay, so about half. That's pretty good. I asked the folks in Central City last night and I had one hand go up. I said, really? I thought everybody heard this. How do we know that? How did this adage have its truthism to it? Anybody who's ever been a parent knows this. You know, when the kids are too quiet. Oh no. And you open up the door and you go into their room and there's crayon all over the wall. And the cat just got a haircut. And you knew they were just too quiet, and you just hope that as they grow up, it gets a little bit better. When we quickly learn that's not the case. Give them a little too much time on their hands, and it can be disaster. Well, I once knew somebody who didn't learn these lessons even long into retirement. Had probably one of the most solid marriages I've ever experienced. But she didn't retire for another 2 years, and he was left with all this time, and he really didn't have any hobbies. And so he got on the internet. And one thing leads to another, shopping for things, until eventually he finds himself on what we'll call the dark part of the internet. The dark part specifically of Craigslist. I didn't even know before this that there was a dark part of Craigslist, which shows how sheltered I am. And in the midst of this, he arranges to meet somebody in a public place, and well, I'm not going to mention all the details of that, but let's just say he got him arrested. He had too much time on his hands, and he didn't know how to apply it for something constructive. I think all of us have found ourselves in places where we misused our time and misused our leisure. And we need only to look at the Old Testament lesson for this morning, and we find an example of a man who had everything he wanted, and he did not know what to do with his leisure time. The lesson begins in the time when the kings went out to battle. So he's supposed to be doing something. This is an unauthorized vacation. And he's at home with nothing to do and everything at his disposal. And there is a woman who is doing what was common in those days. Look at the time of day that the lesson sets at. It's toward the late afternoon. So it's not the heat of the day, and actually it does get quite cold in the ancient Near East, so you wouldn't have taken a bath on your roof, as was the common practice. You wouldn't have done that after sunset. It would have gotten too cold. They didn't have heated water. It was going to be cold water. You still needed some warmth. So she's up there doing what was normal, and he gets distracted by some dark side. Looks over. Pretty nice. And invites her over, and we know how the story unfolds. What if David had chosen to use his leisure time in a more appropriate way. Perhaps he would have chosen not to take his unauthorized vacation and stay out on the battle lines, as was the custom of the day. Perhaps he would have been fulfilled with the things that he already had. We'll never know. He made a poor choice. We all, on occasion, do. And you know, there is something about leisure that we have to wrestle with, and that is that we are somewhere in between the binary of industry and sloth. If you're a person like me, you may have difficulty actually learning to relax. I have to have something to do. During my vacation, one of my great accomplishments was I got my windows all torn out and the glazing all taken out and re-primed and repainted, and that felt awesome. It was somewhat of a mindless project to do, too. But it had a purpose. It was still restful industry. Y'all remember the story that we read in the Gospels about Mary and Martha. Martha is the industrious one who does not understand leisure. And Mary is the one that doesn't seem to understand why her sister won't let her actually soak up the words of the Master. It's kind of a paradigm of this continuum. We must choose, hopefully, somewhere in the middle. Just enough industry to keep us from making poor decisions, and just enough helpful sloth to learn to relax and smell the roses. That's what we all need. We all need good rest and good refreshment. 3 S's come to mind when speaking about this rest and refreshment God's way. When we use it, we need to look for 3 things. Sleep. How many of y'all are like me? And it's until I get out of the office and start decompressing for a while, I don't realize I'm actually sleep deprived. Until I start sleeping until, I know some of you, this is not going to be sleeping in, but 7:30 in the morning is majorly sleeping in for me. And my body began to relax, and all that tight worriness starts to go away, and I realize sleep is something given by God. We're supposed to spend 1/3 of our life in sleep. God designed us that way. But God also designed us from the outset to take Sabbath, the second S. Sabbath is taking 1/7 of our time just to relax and to look at the way in which God is fitting himself into our daily life. And remember, we cannot constantly maintain industry forever. We know well, all we have to do is look back in the pages of what happened around Exodus 1, Exodus 2. Because the people of Israel, living in bondage, were working 7 days a week. God never designed them to do that. So sleep, Sabbath, and then, and I love the old right one word here, succor. Sustenance, rejuvenation, fulfillment, what in Hebrew we call shalom. A renewing of the Spirit. These 3 things. And perhaps if we're looking for sleep and Sabbath and succor, we'll make more appropriate decisions as to how to use our leisure time. So I ask you, when you have downtime, use it wisely. Use it as God intended. God wants you to have it. God wants you to have sleep and Sabbath and succor. For it is in returning in rest that we find our ability to connect with God. And when we're too industrious, we often push it out. Choose to use your rest wisely.